We go today. A new study of GP records suggests that Lyme disease may be 3 times more common than currently reported, with an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 new cases reported annually in the UK. I was reading today that Lyme disease is so prevalent now that countryside walkers, this is what we're saying, you can't trust the countryside, tuck their trousers into their socks. Blah. Experts believe that the numbers continue to increase at a similar rate. We could see in excess of 8,000 cases of Lyme disease this year. Well, Andrew McGuinness is the author of Anatomized. Have I said that right? Yeah. A book he's written about his battle with Lyme disease. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How did you catch Lyme disease?
That's a very good question. Obviously, I was bitten by a tick somewhere. It could have been in Kent or it could have been in Wales. I mean, it's endemic all over the UK. But I developed the rash, classic bullseye rash, and then a lot of symptoms, sort of tumbling, different non-specific sort of ailments troubled me for weeks and then months. And and then I was misdiagnosed many times with many different things, because it was almost catastrophic. I was diagnosed with a stroke, then another stroke, then it could have been multiple sclerosis, then it could have been a brain tumour. It was serious stuff. And nobody was really sure about what else it could be. So I was sort of, abandoned really by the NHS, because they didn't know how to treat me. And really all I needed was antibiotics.
No.
Yes. Just horrific.
And when to be told that you've got MS or any of the other diseases because they can't figure it out, extraordinary. So what other symptoms? I mean, how dangerous is Lyme disease to start with? Can it be fatal?
It can. I mean, it's definitely debilitating. I lost 2 jobs. I was lecturing at university in creative writing, because obviously I write novels and things, and I was unable to function. Because my symptoms got really bad. Started off with innocent sort of flu-like symptoms, and then became neurological. So the infection, which is what it is, went to my brain, which they could see on the MRI scans, but they thought it was other things, not Lyme disease.
Yeah.
Hopefully things for patients are improving in terms of diagnosis and early treatment, because that's the key.
At least if it's mentioned as well. I mean, if you say, look, could it be Lyme disease? If we all know that is a potential, then they can go looking for it, presumably.
That is right. I mean, there are new guidelines, nice guidelines regarding Lyme disease for GPs, but it does depend on the GP. I mean, it boils down to the fact, are they aware? Will they? I think patients are the ones who need to persuade and convince to treat early, because that's the key. A few weeks can stop a lifetime, of angst and trouble. I mean, I've recovered substantially, but there is irreparable damage. I'm on serious painkillers for the neuropathy and suffer fatigue, but this could have been avoided. And I think it's interesting that the new statistical analysis about the underestimation, because the people outside the NHS have been saying this for years, and now there's sort of scientific proof to back it up. Across Europe, it's prevalent right across Europe and right across America.
Wow.
But
can dogs catch it? Can animals catch it? Do you know?
They can. Vets do treat dogs, particularly for Lyme disease, as a potential, depending on their symptoms.
Wow.
So, I mean,
dogs get treated just in case, but humans don't.
Yes, well, that's the irony, isn't it?
Wow.
Because I probably got a tick, probably fell off one of my dogs, and then attached itself to me, because they bring them into the home, and that's a likely scenario for me, because I've always had dogs.
Yeah.
And I suspect that's how I contracted it. So people do need to be very, very careful about not just their pets, but their children. When you're out in the countryside or even in your garden, to be honest, because you can catch it. Birds are vectors, so they can, obviously birds go to parks and gardens, and you could pick it up just, very, very easily. So people have to be really, really aware. And also, if they're concerned, go to see their GP and mention Lyme disease.
That's the best advice, isn't it? If you've got a random set of symptoms that you're not, just say, could it be Lyme disease?
Yes.
And brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Well, I'm sorry that you had to go through this in order to give us this information, Andrew, but I'm grateful for it because it will stick in my mind now because I've got a dog.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Check your dog as well.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Andrew, thank you. Been a real pleasure talking to you this morning. Thank you very much indeed. Say Lyme disease. If you're not sure, ask, could it be Lyme disease? And it will save you a lot of bother and the NHS a lot of money in the long run. Andrew McGuinness there, the author of Anatomised, a book he's written about his battle with Lyme disease. So that's it from me for today. Back with you tomorrow between 4 and 7. That's the time I'm on. And whatever you're doing today, have a wonderful day and stay where you are because Vanessa's next.